And who is it going, everyone? Welcome to I Wanna Take the Time Machine. And yeah, I definitely wanna take the time machine to tell the author to not use Boshi bosses in this game. I think it's a little bit too late for that, but it's okay. So the big thing here, well, the big thing is that I forgot to execute the hotkey, but other than that, the big thing about this is that, you know, there is this boss, which is none other than Mr. Solgreen, aka the final boss of I Wanna Be the Boshi, which is also a boss in this game, though unfortunately not the final one. Though even if it was the final boss, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to beat it. So I warn you this because I'm probably gonna take a pretty long time in beating this boss. So this is probably gonna be just a really big grind. That's probably what this is gonna be. I'm just letting you know, just in case, that this is just basically gonna be me grinding this boss for a long time. But you know, it's fine. I mean, it's been a while since I play a fun game like this, right? I can't remember really grinding a boss that much, you know, in the fun games that I played recently, right? I mean, when you think about it, I think that the last fun game that I played that will be considered, you know, well, obviously that will be pretty hard with the bosses is Boshi. I don't think I played any other game after Boshi that actually had bosses where I had to farm to beat them. Funnily enough, the one fun game that is gonna achieve that is none other than the one that has Boshi bosses. That's gonna be a pain in the ass, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. I really don't remember. Maybe there was another fun game where I struggle a lot against a boss, but if there was, I don't remember it. I don't remember Domu, you know, the final boss of that game, but I don't think I struggled for that long. The final boss of that game is, I think, Death from Castlevania, with a lot of spells and magic and shit. So, and I don't think I really took that long. Well, then again, I also don't know how long I'm gonna take with this boss. Maybe I'm just exaggerating, but, you know, someone today told me that this boss is terrible. Terrible not in a good sense, like terrible in a bad sense. So, you know, it's gonna be a problem. But it seems that it is the way it is. And it seems that it's the only way to progress. At first I thought that this was gonna be an extra boss, but it seems that you need to defeat Solgrid to keep going. Which is pretty fucked up. I don't really understand why this game decided to incorporate Boshi stages and make them obligatory. Like, I understand including these stages as a, you know, as a shout out to Boshi, right? And it being a secret, it means that you're fighting, you know, optional bosses. And it's like, you know, whatever, right? You fight them if you want. But they are actually, well, or apparently they are obligatory to beat the actual final boss of this game. That's why I don't understand, right? Like, why would you do that? Why would I know that obviously melee games exist and they are pretty much that. They should just use things that were made for another game and incorporate it in their own game. But medleys are something different than this, right? Like, I will assume this piece of shit. I will assume that it is a different thing. But I don't know. This game disagrees. I can't believe I died there. That's the worst part. I die to that bullet because I'm not... like I'm moving. Jesus Christ. But yeah, this is gonna be a problem. Apparently, the phase after this one is basically every boss in Boshi attacking together just like it was in Boshi. But if it is like it was in Boshi, you basically have to memorize all the attacks because they are not reactable. You just have to memorize. And memorizing is pretty difficult to do, you know. I mean, it's pretty difficult. Man, I can't believe I keep dying there because those platforms are still scuffed. But it's okay. But yeah, that's basically the what's gonna happen today. So I predict a lot of salt. Definitely predict a lot of salt for today. That's the weather. It's salty. It's a salty weather. So yeah. You might think that it's snow, but no, it's not snow, it's salt. That's the forecast for today's stream. Extremely salty. Hey Draynot, how is it going? Was just saying that... I was just saying that as you can see, today's stream is gonna be salty. It's gonna be a salty stream. So, you know, well, I mean, I guess you can say it's a normal stream. I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. It is pretty much a normal stream by Gabi standards. I will say nothing really changes here. Now, as I said before, what I cannot believe is that you will put these platforms here when it's pretty clear that they are fucking scuffed. Like, I just don't get it. How you are able to do such a thing. Fucking scuffed platforms, but it's okay. So now, I stay here. Here comes Ryu. Oh, it's aim! I thought that he only did it in a specific row. He actually aims at you. I don't know why I expected it to not be aimed, but it's okay. Oh yeah, as you can see, we're gonna be here for a while. I really hope you like Soul Green and whatever music this is supposed to be. I don't even know where this music is from. What I do know is that I'm getting, you know, copyright notice in almost every video that I'm uploading to YouTube. It's pretty nice. Oh, this is Ace Combat? Damn. Which one? I'm assuming it's one of those that I didn't play, since I only play 1, 2, and 3. Didn't play 4 because it ran like shit in the PS2 emulator, because the PS2 emulator is a piece of trash. But you know, I wish I could play them, because I really like the first 3 Ace Combat games. 4? Damn it! I really wish I could play it. But yeah, the PS2 emulator, I feel that it's a huge piece of shit. I mean, I know that my computer is not the best. We all know that. But the thing about the PS2 emulator is that most of the games are not fully compatible with the emulator. Like, they work, quote unquote work. As in, yeah, you can run them. But that's about it. You can run them, but they are gonna have graphic glitches, or they are gonna run like shit. It's one of those. Or both, that is. It could be both. It's 4. You love this song? Damn, I'm really glad that you love this song, because you're definitely gonna be hearing it for the rest of the stream. So yeah, really glad that that's the case. Well, you might end up hating it by the end of the stream, I will probably say. But it's okay, dude. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna do my best to try and finish these fucking bots of oatmeal. But it's hard. I mean, damn, I'm stuck. Are you seeing this? Like, are you seeing my character right now? I'm spamming champ and I can't do shit. Like, the only way is letting myself drop, because otherwise I just can't do shit, dude. Man, fuck whoever the creator of this game is for letting that happen. How are you gonna let that happen? Especially in a place like this. It's so fucked up. I don't know if that happened in the original Boshi. I don't remember. I think it didn't, but I mean, I don't know. My memory's not that good. Should have just played Time Machine 2. Nah, I don't like skipping games when it comes to, you know, a game that has a continuation or something. I just want to play the first one. Well, the first one, the second one, and, you know, in order. The rock killed me. It didn't disappear in time, so it killed me right there. Nice. Okay. It's alright. We need to relax. Because if we are salty here, it's gonna be harder to beat this. I mean, you don't beat oatmeal with salt. Wow, I can't believe that the explosions didn't kill me there. So the explosions there are actually cosmetic. Alright. Unbelievable, dude. You know, the worst part is that it might get stuck in that platform because of the screen shake. I'm not sure, I'm obviously talking out of my ass, but something tells me that that's a pretty possible cause. But yeah. So, the real question is, how terrible is this fight? Because Yami told me that this fight was terrible. But you know, I think there are many levels of terribleness, right? You know, some things can be terrible as in they are bad, but you know, you can do it with a little bit of effort and that's it. Then you can probably say terrible as a way to, you know, say that it sucks and not much more than that. And then you can say terrible to mean that something is really, really bad. I don't know which terrible we're talking about. That's the problem. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
And of course Sonic has to be part of the fight. Well, at least the Godzilla one didn't seem hard to avoid, but Sonic... Dude, this game is gonna make me hate Sonic, you know that? And I'm a Sonic fan, I like the Sonic games. This game is definitely gonna make me hate Sonic. I can already tell you that. But then again, if Boshi didn't make me hate Sonic, I don't think this game is gonna achieve that either. This motherfucker, dude. Sonic in these games is just a gigantic bitch. I went down too fast, that was my bad. That's my bad. How many bosses are in Boshi? 12, right? Oh, that's gonna suck. The amount of bosses that... yeah, that's gonna fucking suck. And Sonic is the 5th one. Dang, that's gonna be really, really bad. For sure. That's gonna be really, really bad. I mean, we still have Ganondorf, Shang Tsung. Who else? The Skeleton. And there are so many bosses. I don't remember if the original had every single boss in this fight. I don't think it was every single boss, but it was its fair share of bosses. There was that Bomb Man or whatever the fuck it was called, you know, the Mega Man character. Oh, shit, that one was terrible. But at least that one, it was hard in the original because you were basically forced to... Wow. You were basically forced to do it in... in just a couple of platforms, right? And that made it really, really hard. Okay, Bay Ryu. Mario, you just gotta do this, okay. Then immediately go up. Wow, you have to do it really fast. You have to go up really fast, so that makes me think that I might need to dodge Mario from the left, but if I do that, it's gonna be way harder. Well, that's probably the point. Oof. Well, at least we are learning. That's the important thing here. We gotta learn, no matter what. That's what has to be done. I can't. Why did I jump like that? That was pretty bad. The important thing about this Soul Green is that it doesn't have, like, or at least what I hope is that it doesn't have that attack with the aim green bullets, right? That attack, that, you know, it's a little bit of a problem, but considering that he's throwing all the bosses here, I'm assuming that that attack was skipped, or at least I really hope that attack was skipped, because that was easily the hardest attack of the original Soul Green. The fact that you have to, you know, make the green bullets that appear randomly on the screen, you have to direct them towards Soul Green to damage him. That was easily the worst part of the fight. As long as that's not here, I think it's not gonna be that bad, but then you also gotta remember that, you know, there might be a new attack. Well, I mean, obviously all of these are not literally the same attacks, so you know. But what I'm trying to say is that we have to pray that there is not a new attack that is harder than anything from the original. I don't know. I'm a little bit scared because I think that the most scary part is that, as I say before, this isn't even the final boss of the game. So you can tell that, yeah, it's gonna be dangerous, but we gotta get through it. Alright, shoot the whoop. That's Max and Pukek. Okay, I can do that.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
Yeah, but can I dodge Sonic at the same time? Well, I mean, I have to. Since there is no other place to stand on, I have to dodge him from there. So I probably have to preemptively jump. Alright. At least he seems like he only does 2 loops. I don't think he pesters me for more than that, or at least I hope that he doesn't. It seems like that's the case. He only does 2 loops and then he fucks off. The problem is if there is another attacker when Sonic is on the screen, that will suck. It could happen. Also, I probably should put, you know, in Twitch you have a warning so people that are younger than 18, well, or people that are not considered adults cannot enter, right? You have a warning like that in Twitch, but I feel that there should be a warning for epileptic people. Because if there is an epileptic person that comes to the stream right now, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a really bad problem. Like, yeah, no joking, it will be really bad. I know that that's probably not something that I should be concerned, that's something that Twitch should be concerned, but I mean, I don't want, you know, people to suffer just because, you know, they saw Solgreen on the screen and they were like, ooh, let's see what this guy is doing, and then, you know, I don't know why there isn't an epilepsy warning on Twitch. Maybe the terms of service already tell you that. I don't know. But what I do know is that, yeah, probably should be an epilepsy warning. Because there is no way someone with epileptic attacks can watch this shit. I mean, I can barely watch it. It's already pretty straining for my own eye. I can't imagine this being good to someone who has those kind of attacks. So yeah, it's gonna be a problem. But hey, as long as terms of service got me covered, I don't know, I didn't read them. I mean, I obviously read them. It's just that, you know, I want to make sure. I obviously read the entirety of the terms of service, but, you know, just to be sure, you know. I can never be so sure. Alright. I don't know where those missiles that this guy is throwing are from. Where the sprite is from, I mean. I don't remember seeing those kind of missiles before. The screen shake. You know, it would be really nice if there was a way to disable the screen shake. But, you know, sadly the game doesn't have that feature. Well, as Draynot said, screen shake is a feature. Yes, it is indeed a feature. But you know, there are a lot of games that allow you to turn features off. Well, I mean, this game allows you to turn features off, like the death counter or the blood, right? It would be really nice if it actually allowed you to disable the screen shake. It would be pretty nice, I will say.
The name speeds monkey.
So I should jump to the left? That can end well. You want me to jump to the left? This is crazy. This is absurdly crazy. It's okay. It's gonna happen eventually. But if this, which is not, you know, the final boss, right? It is not the final boss. How fucked up is the final boss gonna be? That's the real question here. I mean, we don't know. It might be pretty fucked up. Though, you know, it's funny because when I seen the reviews on Delicious Fruit, one of them mentioned that the final boss is like amazing, right? I don't know if that's someone being overly positive, because I can't imagine the final boss being easier than this. This is gonna be a problem. Well, and funnily enough, someone mentioned that this game was Boshi done properly. I don't think I could disagree more, but you know. I mean, Boshi is Boshi. It is done properly. And even if this game obviously resembles Boshi, not just for using, you know, literal Boshi stages and bosses, I don't think you can say that it's a better version than Boshi. Though, then again, we're talking about a person that put a 9.8 to this game in their review, so, you know. That's the problem with those kind of reviews. That person put that score, but then there was another person immediately after that put, you know, I think a 1 to this game. But it's impossible to have a good, you know, a good review total if you take into account reviews like those. I mean, it's just too hard to make.
The name speeds my game.
Okay. Jump to the left, stay on the platform, and then I'm assuming jump again. Okay, I can do that. That's a good strategy. But yeah, the point is, it's really hard to make reviews that are actually useful. Because that way, with those two reviews, well, I mean, there are more than those two, but I mean, with those two reviews, the game has a score of 6 point something, right? I don't think that's a really good representative at all of this game. I mean, I still haven't finished it, but I don't know. Seems like not a good method. But then you have the problem. I mean, obviously you will say, why are you even, you know, paying attention to the reviews? Why don't you just make your own judgment, right? Well, the thing about that is that to make your own judgment, you have to play the game. And that's exactly what you view those reviews for, to decide if playing the game is gonna be a good idea or not. I still don't think that playing this game was a bad idea, but I mean, you can't really trust the reviews. And it really sucks, because if you can't trust the reviews, you can't trust anything. I mean, you could watch a video on YouTube, but at that point, I mean, I think that it loses its magic of being able to get surprised to what the game has to offer, right? So it's a little bit of a problem. Maybe there should be more moderation. And there is probably already enough moderation. I'm not saying that there is absolutely no moderation, but I feel that you can't just let people leave a 0.2 in a game that is quite obviously not a 0.2, right? I mean, obviously it's subjective, which is the issue here, but I feel that it's not a good sport to do that. Hey Riemann, how is it going? I was telling... Yeah, it's Boshi all over again, pretty much. I still don't know why this game decided to literally take Boshi bosses and add them as necessary bosses, but whatever. You just checked out some Touhou fan games? Maybe I should check out some Touhou fan games as well, but you know. I'm really not fond of Touhou fan games, as I always say, even though there are some good exceptions. A lot of them end up disappointing me in one way or another, even though the disappointment is not that big and I can still have an enjoyable experience, but, you know, it's a shame.
Sonic's the name, speeds my game.
Oh, really? Damn it. But yeah. The point is, it's all about which fan game. I mean, as I say before, to me, Elegant Impermanence of Sakura is literally the best fan game that I played. So, and I thought that it was on par of the official games, so... Infinite Blade Pavilion is wacky as fuck. Ikusan, I didn't understand shit, but it plays fucking good. Are those Danmaku games? I don't know. They sound like Danmaku games. Well, except for Ikusan. No, that actually doesn't sound like a Danmaku game, but it could be. IVP is Danmaku that sometimes try to be that shit. Wait, what's that shit? It tries to be a dad? What's that shit? Classic shoot 'em up? And that's a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing? You don't like classic shoot 'em up? Well, I mean, I understand that classic shoot 'em ups are not really known for looking like modern Danmaku games, but still, I mean...
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
Oh, the fucking skeleton. You son of a bitch. Is that shit aim? Or is that shit gonna be... Cause it didn't look aim. I mean, it went right where I was, but it didn't seem like it was aiming at my vertical position, well, my horizontal position. Maybe it's one of those that appears like at the... in front of you, like the rocks in that boss fight. So maybe if you keep walking forward, he's gonna fuck you up. The problem is that I have to move, because, I mean, Mega Man is right there. Tries to be that shit while still being Danmaku. By trying to be that shit, I mean more chip shots and stuff, and Ikusan is a weird shoot 'em up with some elements of reading game. By elements of reading game, I mean patterns sync with the music. Oh, that's like a Barrage musical. Damn, I want to play that game again. Barrage Musical is such a good game. It's such a good game. And well, I call it a Touhou fan game, but it's not really a Touhou fan game. I mean, it's pretty much obviously based on Touhou, just like Lennon is. But obviously it's not a Touhou fan game because it doesn't reference anything from Touhou. From the setting, I mean. But yeah, that game is just amazing. Really, really good game. I wanna play it again, but you know. There isn't much to do for me that wouldn't be unbelievably hard to do. Oh, I don't know. It's still something that I wanna play. Because it's definitely a game worth playing.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
Okay, he only appears there. Oh, wow. Wait, who is that? Wait, who are you? Is that Bomberman? Why? Was that Bomberman? But Bomberman wasn't a boss in the original Boshi. Huh? Bomberman? Damn. Was that Bomberman? Maybe it was someone else. Maybe it wasn't Bomberman. It kinda looked like it, but... weird. That was definitely not a boss, though it would have been cool as a boss. Imagine having Bomberman as a boss. It would have been cool. He was? Are you sure he was? I don't remember him. Well, I mean, if you say so... Also, how is it going, Yami? Are you sure? I really don't remember Bomberman in Boshi. Maybe he was really easy, so he got expelled from my memory. Yeah, maybe it was so easy that I just forgot. Oh, he was replaced by Ganon. That's why.
Sonic's the name, speed's
I see, yeah. Ganon is the one that was a boss when I played it. A really good boss, by the way. I really love the Ganon boss fight. Interesting. I see, okay. Yeah, I think now I remember someone mentioned that Ganondorf was a boss that they added afterwards. Alright, yeah, Ganondorf was my favorite fight in the game. Ganondorf was such a good boss fight. So funny too. That's why I was like, when is Ganondorf gonna appear? Well, it's never gonna appear now. Damn, I can't believe it. Mr. Dorf was added later. Yeah, I think someone say that Bomberman fight was so shit that he had to change it. Now there is a little bit of a problem here. There are still some bosses remaining. Missingno, for example, is a boss that I still haven't seen. Maybe it's gonna appear right after Bomberman. I don't remember if there was another boss or... I mean, Shang Tsung was right there. So, you know. Lord. Ooh, I almost missed that.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
The good thing is that at least the Sonic part is not absolute cancer, which I'm pretty glad. Okay, what now? Okay, there is missing no Wow. You know, the worst part is that I saw it coming, but I jumped so fast that I jumped before reaching the platform, so I couldn't dodge it. I see. Okay, well, at least missing no is done. I think that's the last one, right? I mean, let's try to count. We had Hello Kitty, which is the first boss. We had Okay, Hello Kitty, Mega Man, Mario, Sonic, Shang Tsung, the skeleton. Did I mention Missing No? I think I didn't. Well, Missing No. Damn, I can't remember the bosses that I mentioned. Wow. I think there might be one more left. I mean, obviously not counting Soul Green, but you know. Yeah, there might be one left. Well. Hey Colo, how is it going? It's Boshi time. Though I'm a little bit upset that you wrote Boshi with an I instead of a Y. That's a little bit nasty to me. Though, to be completely honest, that's actually a way of pronouncing it properly if we were spelling Japanese. Because apparently Boshi comes from a Japanese word that means like kid or some stupid shit like that. I don't even know who Boshi is. Well, misspelling his name is definitely gonna be not a good way of knowing him better. I can tell you that. But it's okay. Maybe you could play that game. Though I don't really recommend I wanna be the Boshi to anyone that is starting unless you already played the original. But I don't know. Don't know how good of an idea it will be or not. But it's okay. Blarg. Oh, Ryu. I forgot to mention Ryu too. Oh, and this Godzilla Abomination as well. So that's 4. You have 4 up until there. Then you have Mega Man, the Skeleton, Shang Tsung, Bomberman, Missing No. So that's 9. And I think Boshi has 12 bosses. Obviously one of them is Soul Green, so there are 2 left. What are those 2? Or I think I didn't count Mario. Mario, it will be there too. Yeah, that I think I hadn't count Mario before. Yeah, Mario will enter. So there is one. There is one more boss that I'm not remembering. Who is it? Do you remember, Yami? Because I don't. Maybe there's not one more, but I'm pretty sure Boshi has 12 bosses. 12 main bosses. I'm not counting the Kappa face and Cheetah Man. How many more copyright infringements? Come on, bro. For how long have you been watching these fan games? Don't you think it's a little bit late to be asking about copyright infringement? Damn, Yami with the shrug. I obviously expected that shrug, but damn. There's only one more, dude, come on. Help me remember. Who was it? I'm trying to remember the bosses in order. And I don't think that's helping. No, I don't think remembering the bosses in order might be a good idea. There's definitely one more that I'm not remembering. Well, I mean, if I'm able to get there without dying, we will see. Seeing them all here made my love for law accelerate. Man. I can't believe that you're siding with the law. This game is free, dude. The authors are not profiting off of these copyrights. They are not profiting in any way. Everything is free. Like, come on, Beru. But you are somehow. I'm not really profiting. I mean, well, that's the thing. If you call that a problem, then basically watching a trailer on YouTube while I'm streaming is also profiting off of it. And I don't think that's illegal. I mean, you know, technically you buying games from resellers at a way higher price than they were sold originally, technically you are supporting people profiting off of these copyrights that were not intended to be sold at such disproportionate prices. So I don't know, bro. If we are gonna talk about profiting off of copyright, you don't wanna go there because you will be the first one sent to jail if that was a jail offense. Never say you when you were against it. I don't know. You say that it made your love for law accelerate. I don't know how else to interpret that. If anything, that will make me hate law even more. If law could prevent the existence of these fun games. Whew. That was close. Come on. team. I really don't remember who the fuck was that other boss. I really wish I did, but I can't. Well, we're gonna figure out soon enough, probably. You know, the worst part is that
Name speeds my game.
even if he says Tatsumaxen Pukyak, it definitely does not sound like that at all. I fucked up. I tried to bait from the lower platform, but it was too late. You gotta remember, you have to bait that one from the lower platform. Well, I don't know which lower platform though. Maybe I have to bait from the middle one. But if I baited from the middle one, it will be harder to dodge Shang Tsung's blood. Ganondorf. Yeah, Bomberman is here too. And as you saw, Missingno was here too. Everyone is here. This is like Smash. Everyone is here. But I mean, this also has a Smash sounds. So, you know, there is that. Blarg.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
Wonder why that motherfucker appears randomly just like that. No, I think what I have to do there for sure is jumping from the bottom platform. If I try to do that from that second platform, I don't think I can make it in time. So I need to do that. Well, probably dodging the blood is gonna be a little bit harder, but I will try. Also, pretty interesting. This game has an option to turn off the blood, right? But that refers to the blood of your own character when it gets killed. How will you censor Shang Tsung's blood? Like, do you turn it green? Because I mean, that's blood that actually kills you if it hits you. So how will you even censor that? Well, it would be nice if it was invisible, right? You will have to fucking guess where you need to go. That will be pretty funny. It will be pretty funny, I gotta say, definitely. Oh, I fucked up. I fucked up in the end by jumping. If I didn't jump, I would have done it. Oopsies. It's okay. I still need to remember if there is a last boss that I'm forgetting, but maybe I'm not forgetting about any boss. Who knows? I don't really know. Pretty hard. Censorship should perish in flames. I mean, it's not censorship here. It's basically an option. If you don't like seeing blood, you can just turn it off. Oh, really? Ah, well, I'm dead. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't speed kill him. I don't even know what's after that attack. Thankfully, I don't have to figure it out. Can you imagine if this first part I actually needed to do it completely? Like, if I had to actually worry about that, that would fucking suck. Thankfully, I can speed kill this motherfucker here. You just have to dare against these missiles. You have to dare against those missiles. Also, where are these rocks falling from, I mean? Wow, I can't believe I dodged that. I wasn't paying attention. Like, come on, the sky is up there. Are the rocks falling from the sky? Is Tenshi shooting those rocks from heaven? Maybe.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
Never know. You must die. Okay, here. Okay, that's it. Okay. Well, it seems that that's gonna be it for the bosses. Sadly, I died to the very last one. Yeah, no, Riemann, we don't have Dodonpachi here. Not on this one. But you know, you have examples of a lot of fun games that feature Longena. Yeah, Camellia Tree, for example. Which is never gonna be played by me, I can tell you that. But you know, we are gonna go to Camellia eventually. It's just not the third one, I can assure you that. It's alright. I mean, see, here's the thing. If you really want to see Camellia Tree that much, why don't you play it, right? I mean, it's free. You just go to Delicious Fruit, search for Camellia Tree, and it's gonna be right there. It's gonna be right there for you to download and enjoy. Fatality. Ooh. Nice. Okay, now what? Okay, the battleship. Wait, oh, you have to be shitting me. I need, Yami, I need assistance here. How do you make a bidirectional binding in the hotkey editor? Because what's the problem there? I couldn't go down because I disabled the S button just so I could skip the intro of the fight. So I need a way so every time that I press X, it's both skip and down. Do you know how to do that? Because I know there is a way, but I don't want to investigate right now. I don't fucking know auto hotkey. Why not? You used it. What you mean you don't know auto hotkey? Well, maybe that we can do something smarter though. Instead of doing a bidirectional binding, we could bind skip to another key. So let's see. Though that might cause some problem, I feel. Because here's the thing, right? If I enable S as down, and if I put another key as S, that means that that will also go down. Let's see. What happens if I do, I don't know, P? I don't know if P is a good, no, let's do T, because P sometimes might be paused, and not on this one, but... So T redirected to S. So that way we can skip with S. Maybe. I don't know if it's gonna be a good idea, but we can't know until we try. So now I press T, okay. Well, the problem is that T is a key that is not particularly in a good spot. I should probably put a key like spacebar or some shit like that. T might not be the best idea here. Maybe F? I mean... Yeah, F. F will be a good key. I mean, F is not used by any other thing, right? In this kind of games. I mean, F is usually a key that is used a lot in modern games, but I'm pretty sure it's not that used in this kind of games. Alright, let's try that one. So, F to skip. That's way better. I mean, T is not really on the way. Like, T is a little bit hard to reach. And I can't believe that this fight is making me use both skip and down. That's the first time that it happens in a game. That in the same fight I have both to skip and go down. Well, it happened in Boshi, funnily enough, in this same fight. But, you know... Still. Team. Unbelievable. I might have won that section. I mean, after all, they are trying to challenge a Danmaku boy. Now, I'm pretty sure that section is still gonna be hard, but you know. I would have had a chance if I could go down in the first place. Also, for some stupid reason in that section, apparently you don't shoot with the shot button. You shoot with the sham button for some reason. I don't know why. Gradius is that shit. Oh, don't worry, the hitbox here I think is a lot smaller. Also, what did Riemann say before? I'm not into that kind of stuff myself. Better get another 2-all. Oh, and then he was talking shit about Gradibus. Well, Gradius, I mean, not Gradibus. That doesn't exist. I never played that game, and it's a game that, as well as Riemann says, that game will definitely not be for me. You know, the beauty of Danmaku games is being able to dodge a lot of shit with a really tiny hitbox. I'm pretty sure Gradius is one of those games that doesn't have a super tiny hitbox. So I might be wrong because I never played it, but you know. You never know. Blarg. Man, I fucked up 2 times in a row for the fucking Tatsumaki. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I fucked that up. Yeah, I fucked that up. I forgot. Maybe if you got Burn of Danmaku, you can try those. What, Gradius? But I didn't get Burn on Danmaku. I mean, not really. I got burnt of official Touhou games. Which is the reason why I didn't have any problem to play Lennon. Because Lennon 4 I still hadn't beaten it completely, and I still have not beat it completely, so I will play it again at some point. Yeah, it's more about, I mean, I didn't get tired of Danmaku, it's just that when it comes to the official Touhou games, I done everything I wanted to do, so, you know. At this point, if I go for any bigger achievement, it will be me just getting frustrated for the entire stream, and I wouldn't want that to happen. So you know, there is one that shit that I will play, but I think this one falls more in the line of Danmaku than what you call that shit, even though the hitbox is tremendously huge. You know, strikers, right? As we were saying, you know, the other days, that they were released on Steam. Maybe I could try strikers, though I want them to drop in price. I mean, they are already pretty cheap, but I'm even cheaper than those, so you know. I want it to be more cheap. Yeah. But if it doesn't get any cheaper, I guess I could buy them.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
That was almost pretty bad. Almost. You must die. Damn, those were pretty hard to dodge. It's kinda like more Raiden on the edge between Danmaku and that shit. Now, I wonder why you call them that shit. Is it because they are being played by people that are now dads? Because they played them back in the day? That's an interesting way of saying it. Is that a new term that people are using? Or is it just because you're a stoner and you came up with that term? Because I can't tell. Maybe that's a new term like boomer. That's one of the reasons why community calls... Oh, so it's just the shoot 'em up community, okay. So it's not a widespread term, but something tells me that it might get widespread eventually. So instead of saying boomer, there is gonna be people calling that shit. That's gonna be a problem if that happens. Wouldn't want for that to happen,
Sonic's the name, speed's
but
my
it
game.
will happen. Seems pretty possible that it might happen. Whew. Okay. Okay, so now here we go. Yes, you shoot with the sham button. Why? The fuck will you do that? That's so stupid. That's even more stupid. What the well, speaking of that shit. Well, there you have that shit. It's only gonna widespread if shoot 'em ups are gonna get widespread. Oh, so okay, then you're basically telling me that it's never gonna get widespread. Alright, well that's a relief. I mean, I don't need any more stupid terms like those. I already have enough with all this, you know, zoomer, boomer and all these shitty ass terms that somehow people keep coming up with. I don't know how they do it. How they have such creativity to create such shitty terms. It's pretty impressive. I wish I had that creativity. Radius 256. Oh, I think I thought that I fucked that one up. Almost.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
I tried to double champagne. I got stuck. My finger got stuck. Oopsies. Gotcha. Those dildos ain't gonna catch me, son. Or should I say soul? Ah, get it? Also, speaking of soul, where is Solgreen from? I'm not talking about the creator, I'm talking about that box of oatmeal. I think it's European, but I mean, saying that something is European is not really being pretty specific, you know? Maybe it's something that it's in most European countries, just like
Sonic's the name,
Lidl.
speed's my game.
I don't know.
Fatality.
I will not know. Danish? Danish, huh? So from Denmark. That's so stupid, dude. Like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to remember that shit? Yeah, I know it's an oatmeal brand, but you know. So it's from Denmark. Yeah, I got that shit. Indeed. But yeah. The point is... Oh, by the way, Draenor, are you familiar with hotkeys? Because if you're familiar with hotkeys, I would like to ask how to make a bidirectional bind. So when you press a button, instead of just pressing the button that you're supposed to rebind, it also presses that actual button. So it presses both at the same time. How do you do that? Oh, if you know, that is. Because Yami didn't know. I thought you were perfect users of hotkeys. Consider that you play so many fan games, though you were used to it.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
And obviously most fan games don't feature rebinding, so you have to do it yourself. Ah, fuck. You don't know either. It's pretty powerful though, what you can do with this hotkey scripts. It's definitely something that can be really useful, but you know who they also don't feature? I don't know. Oh, Dante? Yeah, I guess Dante is not considered classic enough to be featured here. Yeah, I will say that that's the problem. I fucking hate auto hotkey. Why? Damn. All this aggressiveness. I thought that both you and Yami loved auto hotkey. Why all this sudden hostility towards it? Did one of the hotkey developers kill your dog? It's a pain to use. Well, I mean, it could be easier, I agree with that. But I mean, you're supposed to just write your script. I don't know the answer really, but in that case, instead of remapping it, couldn't you tell it to press the other key when you press the original? So what, rebinding S to S? I don't think that's gonna work. I don't mind having my hand... Oh, no, you mean when I press the rebinded key, it presses the original? I feel that if I'll do that, that will probably enter an infinite loop. That will probably not be the intended way. I don't mind having my hand destroyed with messy controls. I have flexible fingers. I transitioned to controller pleb a long time ago. Like not rebind a list, just make it listen. Not rebind at all, just make it listen. Yeah, but that's pretty much what I'm asking how to do. Yeah, just make it listen it. Yeah, I need a notation to do that. Like, sure, you mean that instead of rebinding, I should make it also press that other key. Well, yeah, what's the notation for that? Yeah, that will be the ideal thing to do, obviously. Instead of rewinding the original key, just tell it to listen for that key press. Again, that would be really nice, but I don't know how to do that. I mean, if this was JavaScript, I would, but it's not JavaScript. It's some, you know, self-made scripting language that the stoner that made the software did.
Sonic's the name.
So, you know, yeah, that I would like to do that, but I will have to learn how. Wow, that's so bullshit. Hey Young, how is it going? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to do that kind of binding. I mean, all I know is that if you put in the script a key, then you put two colons, and then you know, this is not the final battle, by the way. Damn. You really like guessing, huh? But no, this is indeed not the final battle. Anyways, yeah, I have to learn how to use hotkeys a little bit better. But I never bother because I don't really give a shit about hotkeys. I just use it because it's convenient. Okay, this is the problem. Because if you get unlucky, you can get bombs, get stuck in the same place. Okay, so here it comes. I gotta remember, at the end of this green barrage, he's gonna spawn a rock on me. Okay, Well, probably multiple. Yeah, of course. Of course he will do multiple. Why wouldn't he do multiple? Okay, I gotta... Well, that will require some specific movement there. I guess I could learn some auto-hotkey scripting. I mean, after all, it seems to be pretty, as I say before, it seems to be pretty powerful. Maybe I will have some other uses to it. That shitted twice. Yeah. The worst part is that the rocks are huge. We are not even talking about little rocks that you can dodge by just simply moving to the side. You have to be, you know, already moving to the side before they were summoned. So otherwise there is no dodge
Sonic's the name.
possible,
Speed's my
that
game.
is. You must die. I wonder if this Ace... Fuck. I wonder if this Ace combat theme is also copyrighted. It could be. I mean, after all, this is made by Namco. I think Namco is known for copyrighting some shit. Right? I mean, usually it's those companies. You know, Namco, Square Enix... who else? Well, a lot of Japanese companies that, especially those who deal with, well, Sega, when it comes to, actually no, not Sega, because the songs that are copyrighted to Miku are copyrighted to the original artist, not to Sega. Sega just, you know, just has the copyrights to, well, feature those songs in, you know, to feature those songs in the games. But, you know, I don't think they are the actual copyright holders. I wonder if they are the copyright holders for Miku herself. I don't think so, right? I mean, after all, Miku... Who created Miku in the first place? It definitely wasn't Sega as far as I know. Has to be some random ass Japanese company, but I wonder which one. And then again, I think that copyright in Japan is a mess. Well, I mean... Copyright is a mess no matter what, but I think in Japan it's specifically bad. Especially because with all their culture about not questioning things, there might be some copyright claims that are really unfair and they don't do shit, even if they had the power to do. Domino's Pizza? Yeah, he's right, actually. Domino's Pizza has the rights to Miku. I don't know if exclusively they have the rights to Miku, but they definitely can use Miku. Nintendo? Nah. It's definitely not owned by Nintendo. Though Nintendo copyright is fucking trash, that's also true. But you know. The thing is, for the most part, you know, copyright is a really complicated thing. But that's just because laws are also trash. I mean, they are basically, they have been written when the digital era wasn't a thing, so it's just something that you can't do. Also, when are historians gonna agree that since the conception of the internet we are in a digital era? Because as far as I know, I mean, last time I checked, the era that we are currently in is the contemporanean or contemporary. I don't know how to pronounce that word in English, but that one. We are in that era, apparently. When are we gonna get out of that era? I mean, it's pretty clear to me. Well, there should be two. There should be an industrial era with the Industrial Revolution, and another one with the digital era, with, you know, the whole digital revolution, if you want to call it that way, right? But you know, will be nice. I wonder what they teach the kids on school.
Fatality.
It will be really nice to know. I think the only way to know that is if you become a teacher yourself. Well, that, or if you have a kid and send it to school, which is obviously not gonna happen. So, you know, it's gonna be one of those. Wait, what's next? Another rock? Are you gonna keep throwing rocks to me, you piece of shit? No? No rocks? Oh, wow, swords from behind. That amount of cowardice, you really are gonna do that? The mark of a coward. Backstabbing like that, literal backstab. Wow, okay, that's so fucked up. And I'm pretty sure that's the last pattern. That's really fucked up. Both ways sounds like trash to me. And PDH. Hopefully it's not PDH levels of difficulty. I will definitely appreciate that. But you know, let's say that I defeat this guy, right? What if after this I still don't get to the final boss? That looks like I kill him before that happens. Yeah, but that seems to be really hard to do. I don't think I can do that. I really hope I can, but it's at Susa Finals level. It could be. Yeah, but sadly it looks pretty hard to kill Solgrim before that pattern. It feels really challenging. That's so stupid. Literally threw two bombs, one right next to the other. That amount of RNG is so stupid. Literally one next to the other. How can you let your RNG be so random? That's... whatever. Fuck you. That amount of RNG is not healthy. I can tell you that. Yeah, I mean, it's RNG, but not every RNG is the same. RNG can be controlled. But this guy didn't seem to control it that well. I mean, after all, that kind of shit, if you allow the bombs to be one after the other, that's a literally impossible to dodge pattern unless you can react to that somehow. And with this screen shake, I can tell you that reacting to that is near impossible.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
Yeah, I dare to bring light to your lair. You have a problem with that? Skellington? You didn't have to stay right there. Yeah, that's the problem. It's impossible to react. to see if there are gonna be two bombs one after the other. That's the problem. If I could react to it, if I could see, oh, that's two bombs, let me move aside. But you can't react, not because it's too fast. You can't react because the screen shake makes it impossible. Okay, not literally impossible, but hard enough that the normal human can detect that. I mean, can detect that until it's too late, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, yes, I can detect it before it hits me, but I can't move fast enough when that happens. If the screen shake wasn't there, I'm pretty sure you could detect it, but the screen shake just makes it really hard. Especially because what you're trying to see is how far apart they are from each other. When the screen shakes, you can't tell the distance because it's constantly moving in your eyes. So you should realize when it's way too late. So for example, there I got lucky. Well, there I didn't get lucky. Nah, never mind. That's not RNG what killed me there. Those leaves are aim. That's definitely not RNG. I just didn't move properly. I don't know why I didn't move properly. I think I did what I always do. It didn't work that time. Maybe I needed to move a little bit slower. Maybe I went to the right too fast. Yeah, that's probably what happened. You know, I'm a little bit concerned about that last attack now. That last attack looks brutal. The one with the bidirectional swords. That doesn't look good. I really wish that hitting these bosses will get rid of the bar, but it doesn't.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
Like, you only damage Solgrim, which obviously makes sense, but then you need a lot of damage. Alright. Solgrim, I'm gonna defeat you. It might take some time, but you know that you're going down. Like, you know that that's absolutely what's going on, right? You know that your days are numbered, right? I will even dare to say that your hours are numbered. Maybe even minutes. So yeah, watch out. You die by blood just like in the original Boshi. When Shang Tsung uppercuts Liu Kang, the blood can kill you. I mean, I wouldn't question it at this point, mostly because, you know, I'm fighting against a gigantic box of oatmeal. I don't really think logic applies here, particularly, you know. I think logic is not really what should be questioned here.
Fatality.
Fatality. Alright. Oh! No, don't jump. Nice. Alright. So the problem here is, if I want to speed kill this guy, it's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be incredibly hard to speed kill this guy. In that pattern that he goes up and down, I guess I can follow him up and down, but my ship is not that fast to follow him at the speed he's moving. Which is quite of an issue, it's quite a problem, I mean. But it's okay. Don't worry, maybe. Maybe it's just a matter of... Well, maybe the final attack is not even that bad. I mean, yes, what I seen, it looks horrible, right? But maybe the final attack we can resist. What I do know is that compared to the actual final attack in the actual Boshi, in the actual Soul Green fight, it's way harder. In fact, the final attack in Boshi, of the Soul Green boss fight, was pretty much the easiest attack of the fight. For some stupid reason. Well, I mean, I'm glad that that's the case. But, you know, yeah, for some reason that was the easiest one.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
What I'm at least thankful of is that the Sonic attack is pretty easy to dodge, which will normally be a pain in the ass, but thankfully it's not. Thankfully. I'm really glad that that's the case. But you never know. That's something that we cannot know. I mean, every time I see that Sonic attack, I remember the actual Sonic fight in Boshi. That shit was so hard to time. And I'm really glad that someone in chat at that time actually told me how to do it. Because if I didn't know how to do it, I would have been stuck in that boss forever. But even after knowing how to do it, I still got stuck quite a lot. Because the movement is just that fucked up. It's just that fucked up. So yeah. It is what it is. But damn. I can tell you that once I defeated that boss, it felt so good. It just felt so good. Seeing Sonic fall to his death. That was beautiful. Absolutely
Sonic's
beautiful.
the name, speed's my game.
But you know, I'm probably gonna feel the same thing if, that's a pretty big if I can, you know, win this fight. Which, I mean, I definitely can. But, yeah, as I always say, it's when the real question here. Maybe if I stay down here, I'm gonna be damaging him more. I think. So let's think about this. With this movement up and down like that, technically, if I stay at the center, that's the place where I'm gonna damage him the least. Because technically, when he stops temporarily to go back up, I can deal a lot of damage there. If I stay in the center, however, he goes faster, so I don't think I will deal the same amount of damage. I'm not entirely sure if that will be the best idea, but I don't think that staying in the center will precisely be a good idea. I don't know. Well, the point is that what matters is that, you know, what matters is that I probably need to deal the most amount of damage I can before the final attack, just as Yami mentioned, because that attack looks absolute bullshit. Crazy. Yeah, I say bullshit instead of bad shit, but it's okay. It's almost the same thing. Maybe, probably not. But yeah. Tatsumaki, okay. Keep Tatsumakiing.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
It ain't gonna work.
Fatality.
Ah, fuck. Sometimes, depending on how Mega Man shots, it's really hard to go back to the center. And the center is definitely the easiest way of dodging the the blood droplets. Motherfucker. Okay. And it's a red moon. It's a red moon. Why is it a red moon? Is that the power of oatmeal? It has the power of a red moon. However, if you look at the boats, you see a yellow circle, which most likely represents the sun. Well, how are moon eclipses supposed to form? Isn't it because of the sun? I mean, yeah, it has to. So I guess it makes sense. It looks like grits. I don't know what that is, but I think that maybe it makes sense that it is a red moon. You know, believe it or not, the red moon is an actual phenomenon that happens during a specific eclipse, I think. But, you know, it doesn't happen really often. You know, I don't know what grits are. I've seen red moons before. Yeah, I also seen red moons before. Red moons, I mean, they are really nice. The problem is that they are so, you know, they don't last that long at all. And to make it worse, they don't happen for a really long time. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, to be completely honest. Yeah, they are not common at all. They are definitely not common. I guess that's their charm. If they were more common, maybe it wouldn't be that charming, but I don't know. I still feel that if they were more common, it would be nice to see the moon. I mean, it's still nice to see the normal moon, but it would be nice if it was a 1 in a year occurrence. But it's a 1 in like a 10 years occurrence, right? So yeah, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Well, unless you're playing Touhou. If you're playing Touhou, the red moon is always gonna happen if you play Touhou 6. So, you know, there is that. So the thing about Touhou 6 is that it wasn't called by the sun, but it was caused by magic. Because, you know, magic is, you know, it's a thing in the Touhou universe, along with gods and all that bullshit, you know, it's pretty interesting. Pretty cliché sometimes, but you know, there are a lot of things that we can probably say that they are cliché at this point, especially when it's literally impossible to create a whole new concept. So basing things off of clichés is probably the only way to write a story.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
I think, or at least a decent story, that is.
Fatality.
I mean, clichés are the way they are because they work, so obviously they get used multiple times. Where do you live at Europe? No, Argentina. That's South America. It says in the description below. the country that you can find at the very south of South America. Next to Brazil and Chile. It's there. Down there. Very close to the South Pole. Well, probably not that close to the South Pole. But it's okay. It's around there. I mean, we own a specific section of the Antarctic continent, so there is that, which is pretty cool. Don't know we use it that much though. Not like we can anyways. I don't think we have the resources to do that. Though we do have a base in the Antarctic continent, but not much other than that base. I don't even know what's the purpose of that base. I think it's supposed to be an investigation base. I don't know investigating what, probably the glaciers or some shit like that. That's most likely what it is. It's probably exactly that. Okay, so I'm gonna stay at the bottom here. Hopefully it's a good idea. Damn, did I get hit by that? Are you kidding me? Where is the hitbox? Did I really got hit by that? Motherfucker. You know, the worst part is that I thought that the Danmaku section will be the easy section. But I think this is demonstrating that the Danmaku section is just another pretty challenging section. Damn it. You know, when I reached the ship for the first time, I was like, damn, finally, this is gonna be free, watch this. But yeah, I don't think I can say that anymore. It seems that it is a pretty hard Danmaku section. Differently from the original, where it was actually really easy. Which is a shame, but you know. I guess we had to see it coming.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
We had to see it coming.
Fatality.
Fatality. Ooh, that was close. There you go. Alright. So the Danmaku section. Sadly, I can't go to the bottom here, because otherwise I will die. I always forget about that fucking rock, dude. It's just so hard for me to remember that that rock is there. Obviously, because it's fucking horseshit. But like... God damn, it's so hard to remember that rock. I mean, it's so instantaneous. So, you have to remember that it's coming and when it's coming. If you don't, you just can't react to it. It's way too fast. It doesn't matter how fast that rock is. It ain't gonna save you, Solgreen. I can tell you that much. This... It's just gonna, you know, delay the inevitable, I would say. Just gonna delay the inevitable. Another one of these shitty ass platforms. Why not? So, well, the good thing about this whole section with every boss is that I don't need to... Fuck. Damn it. I was gonna say that I don't need to worry about shooting, but I definitely have to worry about remembering. That's already a little bit hard to do. Well, back to the grind it is. Yeah. I really don't want to know how much I will have to grind the actual final boss. That's gonna be painful. That's gonna be painful for sure.
Sonic's the name, speed's my game.
But yeah.
Fatality.
Fatality. Nice. Damn it, that trajectory. That trajectory with the leaves makes it so you have to move so specifically. Like you have to move in a really, really specific direction. Okay. Well, whenever I reach that ship section again, I'm definitely try-harding it. And by try-harding I mean I will try not to talk. Because I want to be over with this fight, honestly, so I need to try hard that ship section. No matter what. Especially because I need to remember that rock. These rocks here, gotta remember those. There is no other way to beat that section otherwise. I wonder if Mario spawns in a different position every time because it's aimed at you, or if it's actually fits it just like that skeleton. I don't know. Oh, okay. Seems that this reminds me when, you know, when I used to try hard Touhou games. The interesting thing is that I remember the beginning of the stream was basically like the warm-up section. Then like the middle of the stream, like an hour in the middle of the stream, was my best performance for that stream. And then the final section was basically me being completely out of focus. So I really hope that's not the case here, though I don't think that I'm out of focus, but I'm dying to some shit that I really should not be dying to. That's probably, you know, in part because even if I know how to deal with all the attacks, they are not really what I would call easy, especially with this obnoxious screen shake. This screen shake is such a strong variable. I can tell you, if a screen shake was something that you could turn off, I will have probably already won. I will have already won probably. But you know, again, obviously that will change the condition of the fight. Of course, that's like saying that, well, if I remove this bullet I will have won. Yeah, well, no shit. It will be another fight if that was the case. So yeah. Dude, why am I dying to that bullet now? What's wrong? I wasn't dying to that shitty ass green bullet before. Am I jumping later or what? I might be losing my focus after all. It might be. My focus, and more importantly my patience. That's the issue. I mean, losing my focus might not be that big of a deal. Yeah, patience is not something good to lose. Because when you lose patience, well, first of all, obviously you lose your focus, but also you lose the will to beat it. It's okay, I can still keep going. I said before that I was ready to do 3 full streams of this, so even if it takes 3 fucking streams, I'm gonna defeat this asshole. If it takes more than that, however, well, can't really promise then what's gonna happen, but I can take at least 3 full streams of this fight. I can take that. I think that's the issue with any fight that is really long. Eventually you start fucking up in easy, well, quote-unquote easy sections, because, you know, it's just so long that the chances of you surviving everything are obviously lower and lower, right? Oh yeah. I'm gonna try hardest. Pure. Oh, you have to be shitting me there. I completely forgot about that. I thought that the swords that stab you from behind were only at the end. I forgot about that one. Patience is focus. I guess you could say that. Maybe. Backstabbing bitch. Not enough to be a broken piece of trash, you're also a backstabbing bitch. Wouldn't be any other way. Come on. I really wonder if shooting him here actually does some damage. Like, maybe the damage is so minuscule that you can't realize that you're actually dealing damage, but maybe you're actually dealing damage. I don't know. I mean, with all the fucking screen shake, it's impossible to tell if I'm dealing damage or not. So, that's the problem, because if I'm dealing damage, it will definitely be a really good idea to make use of that opportunity. Even if it's not that much damage, but... yeah, I don't think you're dealing damage here, which is the reason why you take the ship in the first place, because you cannot deal damage. I don't know. What did Mario say? I think he says lucky, right? I'm definitely not the one being lucky here, I can tell you that.
Fatality.
Go. I really wish the hitbox on this ship was more obvious, because right now I'm definitely not sure at all where the hitbox is supposed to be. I thought it was in the cockpit, but apparently it's not there. Like, apparently the hitbox is... oh, this is the perfect opportunity to farm damage. If I stand right in front of him, though this is also dangerous for whenever he starts shooting again. It's probably gonna, yeah, be detrimental when he starts shooting. Oh, okay, it gives you time. Okay, that's the strategy. When he does that wave attack, I have to stand right in front of him. And there is little to no... well, there is no repercussion unless you get really close and you get yourself killed, obviously. But that's the plan. Well, at least we have a plan now. That's what matters. We have a plan. For that last phase, I mean. So, it's all a matter of successfully executing that plan. We got this, come on. We got this. Just need to go a little bit further. Just a little bit. That's it. It's gonna fall today. definitely got this. Well, I mean, we got this as long as that's his last attack. Like, let's not forget that it wouldn't be the first time that a boss has an attack after his health bar is depleted. So we gotta be careful here. We can't celebrate when the bar reaches the end. We gotta be careful. I mean, obviously being careful doesn't mean that you will be able to dodge any bullshit that he might throw at you, because, you know, this asshole, as we seen, really likes backstabbing, so I wouldn't be surprised if he threw an insta-give when he died. But at the very least, we will be closer, even if he throws bullshit like that at the end. So yeah. Ooh, that was incredibly close. I don't know how I didn't get killed by that. But yeah. It's all a matter of time now. Well, that, and to not fuck up on these attacks, obviously.
Sonic's the name, speed's
As
my
I say, with fights this long, a lot of things can happen.
Fatality.
Gotcha. It's better to jump back, like at the last moment of that leaf attack from missing no. Oh fuck, that was pretty unlucky. That the only green bullet that was still active was heading right where I decided to stay. It wasn't even aim. It was just being at the wrong time, at the wrong place, at the wrong time. And even if I tried to dodge it, I would have probably died anyway. You were 16 when you started streaming? No. I wasn't 16 when I started streaming. What? What are you talking about? I think you need to read a little bit more. I was 16 when I started playing Touhou. And I didn't stream back then. I only started streaming 2 years ago.
speed's my game.
It would be nice to start streaming at 16, but then again, with high school being a thing, it wouldn't probably have been a good idea, because everyone will be like, haha, look at this dumbass streaming. You know, since people in high school are huge dipshits. So yeah. Well, that, and I wouldn't have the equipment to stream either. But it's okay, and don't worry about it. I mean, I can tell that English is not your primary language either, so don't worry about it. Take it easy. We are all ESLs here. ESL meaning English second language, except for Yami. Yami is the only person in this chat that has English as a primary language. All of the others, like all of the other chatters here, are ESL. Obviously, I'm also ESL. So yeah, don't worry about it. Take it easy. After all, no, you're not dumb. We're all learning. We're all learning. I'm still learning English, believe it or not. There are a lot of words that I don't know what they mean. There are words that I know what they mean and I don't know how they are pronounced. And finally, there are words that I don't know either the meaning or the pronunciation. So, you know, we're all learning here. I was taught in English? What?
Sonic's the name, speed's
But
my
then how will English be your second language if you were taught in English?
Fatality.
Is that a thing? Can English be your second language and at the same time being taught? Oh, it's your first language. Oh, but I thought that when you say it is, you meant that it is your first language. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, I misinterpreted that. It's okay, don't worry about it. Also, how is it going, Osoma? Spanish is my first language. I'm from Argentina, so we speak Spanish around here. And every South American country except for Brazil speaks Spanish. Well, I guess if you also, if you also include Guyana, Suriname, but those are French countries. I guess a better thing to say is that everyone in Latin America speaks Spanish except for Brazil, that speaks Portuguese. And, that's because Brazil was conquered by Portugal back when Europe was traveling to South America, right? Spain, on the other hand, conquered everything else. Well, then you have, the United States and Canada being conquered by the English. But yeah. First language is Sherman. Nice. That's pretty nice because some time ago, I think there were a couple of Sherman words that I didn't know what they meant, and I didn't have anyone in my chat knowing Sherman, so it's really nice that we have you here. Really appreciate that. Because, I have someone that speaks Russian, so that's already a really nice thing because there is a lot of things in Russian, but Sherman, there is also a lot of references in media of words being spelled in Sherman. My second language is Sing language, if you can call it that. Oh yeah, it is a language. And in fact, it's one of the few universal languages that are still there. Sign language, I'm pretty sure is universal, right? Like, if you speak sign language with a mute person in Europe, or if you speak sign language with a... It's not? Are you sure it's not? If you know some of these words, I can translate at least to English. Well, there is a game, a platforming game, that is a Mega Man clone, that it's called Rosenkrustilet. I don't know if I pronounced that properly. It's basically Rosenkreuzstilette. That's how it's written, basically. I'm assuming that it's pronounced Rosenkrustilet. I don't know. I don't know what... I think that means something about an iron rose, right? Iron rose... Yeah, Rosenkrustilet, like that. Exactly. I think it's called something about an iron rose. Because I think Rosen is rose, and Stilet, I think it means steel. I don't know what cruz means, but It isn't universal? Well, I thought it was. But I guess it's not. Well, it's alright. Pretty hard to have a universal language after all. Blarg. Ooh, that almost killed me, Jesus. That was really close. And also, yes, Mario aims at you. when he starts falling, he aims at you. Alright. Good to know.
Fatality.
Not like it really will change much though, but... Okay. So... we gotta be really careful with the hitbox here, dude. It's so hard to tell where exactly the hitbox is supposed to be. It's just too hard to tell. Okay, here he comes. So we actually gotta be here and shoot him the entire time. And maybe we might defeat him, but probably not gonna be enough. Fuck. Oh yes, wait a second, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Oh yes. Oh yes. 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 Ah, beautiful. Shishi Solgreen, fuck you and I hope you rot in hell. But Shishi's. Basically it means rose cross knife. Ah, interesting. It means knife, not steel as I thought. What is Boshi doing here? What you want, Boshi? Go back to your game. Oh shit, Luca is here. This is a Vocaloid. Luca, this is supposedly the girl that we are trying to save. Oh shit. Oh, and she has a whip. Well, that was pretty fast. Alright. God damn. I look up a universal language and it says English. Well, I mean, for many intents and purposes, English works as a universal language. Even though a lot of us don't like that, it is the way it is. I mean, there is a lot of people that speak English in the world. And I mean, this chat is the best example. We have someone from Germany, someone from Russia, Mexico, Chile. Well, they are not here now, but they are usually here. And then you have me from Argentina. All of us speak English. Well, we also have someone from the Netherlands. I almost forgot about Reynolds. All of us speak English. So even if I don't want to accept English as a universal language, I mean, it practically is. Even if, you know, I will prefer if it was a language that wasn't tied to a specific country. I speak English because I live in America. Yeah, I know. But, you know, there are people that... sorry. There are people that, as I said, speak a language that is not related to English. And, you know. Is that pathetic little country west of Germany that's below sea level? It's below sea level? Is that why it's called Netherlands? Damn, you know the funny part here is that in Spanish, Netherlands has two names. One of them is Holanda, which I'm assuming it might be a literal translation, and another one is Países Bajos, which means the low countries, right? The low countries, literally, is what Países Bajos means. So that's why, because it's below sea level. That's really interesting. Rosencrustia is hard to explain the Sherman pronouncing, but I will try it. Well, if you want to give it a try, feel free. I probably won't get it anyways, but, you know, you are free to try. A lot of it is. But how is it below sea level? Like, you use those gigantic walls that I don't remember the name of, right? Those walls that are supposed to stop the sea. Well, China has a lot. I believe Países Bajos is not currently the name they go by. Yeah, but you know, I think that in Spanish you can still use it and people will know that you are referring to the Netherlands if you say Países Bajos. You could use both. We fought many wars with the waters. I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. Because that requires a lot of engineering knowledge. Well, knowledge and maintenance, or however you pronounce that word. So yeah, I can tell that it's pretty hard. It's definitely pretty hard to fight with water. We have an entire province that surfaced after a big dam was built, pretty much. Damn. Pretty interesting. I mean, I know that I'm gonna sound like a weirdo, but that sounds like a pretty interesting place to live in. I mean, yeah, it's probably not, you know, the safest place. Maybe just like Japan is not the safest place because of the earthquakes. But you know, I don't know, it could be nice. But I mean, I can definitely tell you that it's way better than it will probably be living here, and we don't have any natural disasters. Okay, no, we actually have natural disasters, but on the west side of the country, not here where I am, which is the east side of the country. But you know, even without natural disasters, living here fucking sucks. So I can tell you that I want to visit there. There is a lot of places that I want to visit, you know. Weed is legal here. Yeah, weed is definitely not legal here, but you know, as I always say, that has not stopped anyone. Weed might be illegal here, but nobody gives a fuck. In fact, a lot of times you can bribe the police by offering them weed. That, like, there are classmates that told me that. I don't smoke, okay, so that's why I know. Like, I actually don't smoke, but my classmates back when I was in high school, they were telling me that they were, you know, they were caught with weed and they basically hand it over and the cops walk away. Just like that. They didn't, you know, do anything to them. Well, that's probably also because they were minors. You can't really do much against minors for such a low offense, right? When you are the police. So yeah, that's the thing. It's pretty funny though. Police here is really corrupt, like in many places of the world, obviously. It's just that here they don't really bother to hide it. You know, usually when you go to some countries, the only way that you can catch the police doing some corrupt thing is probably by filming it and uploading to, you know, to a social network, right? Here, if you do that, I'm pretty sure they will be like, why are you uploading this? It's like you're uploading the sun, you know, the sun coming out. First time I was out to say first time I dodged that. Rosen, you speak correct. Cruz is Kreuz. And the EU in Sherman is spoken Oi. So okay, so it's Rosenkreuz, and then Stilet, the I is spoken like an E, and the last A is also spoken like the first A in Stilet, so it's like Rosenkreuz Teleta. Wait, why the A at the end? Oh, because you say, oh, never mind, you say that it's spoken like the first E. Rosenkreuz Teleta? Or is that how you pronounce it? Interesting. Is this a boss rush? No, not really. We are just fighting, well, this is the actual final boss. Like, this is supposed to be the girl that we are supposedly saving. I don't know what we are saving this girl from. I'm pretty sure she can defend herself pretty well. That's almost perfect. Damn, almost. Well, thanks. I really like learning new things about languages. Though, you know, seems that I'm failing a little bit. You know, I'm trying to learn Japanese, right? And I think that I'm slowly giving up because, like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, right? Though I already said it multiple times, so I don't think it will hurt to say it one more time. I personally think that Japanese, in the practical sense, not the artistic sense, not the cultural sense, but in the practical sense, is complete trash. Like, if we understand language as a mean for two people to communicate, Japanese is absolute trash at that. Because you're supposed to teach someone to communicate in an easy way so other people can understand you properly, right? Japanese does a horrible job at that. And I'm not saying this just because obviously it's not, you know, my native language, but you can compare that to other languages like English. English is pretty easy to learn. I mean, easy here is relative. Every language is hard to learn, but English has enough things that allows you to understand it even without much exposure to it. Except for the pronunciation, which is absolute trash. But other than that, English does a really good job at teaching someone how to communicate with other people. Japanese, on the other hand, I personally think, for what I've been exposed to, which is not much, so I might be really wrong, I don't know, but for what I've been exposed to, Japanese is absolute trash as a language, not as an artistic expression, if you want to call it that way. I feel that the whole kanji and kana thing, you know, it looks cool, it looks nice, it's aesthetically pleasant to look at, but as a means for communication, it's just not good. To me. Again, that's just me. I don't want to sound like an asshole. I probably am sounding like an asshole to the Japanese, probably, but it's just not a good language to me. I still want to learn it, and that's because there is a lot of media that is locked behind Japanese, but if it wasn't for that, I would never touch that language. I can't stand languages. Well, that's the thing I feel with a lot of English-speaking countries, that they never consider languages because they don't need to, since everything is practically translated to English anyways. So that's probably why people from English-speaking countries don't give a shit about languages. And if that was also the case for me, I would probably also don't give a shit about languages. But any other Sherman words you want to know? The bosses in Rosenkreuzstillet are also based on Sherman words. Well, I don't remember them, but I will let you know. Yeah, there were a lot of words that I wanted to know, but I obviously don't remember them now. I will try to remember and see if I ask you. Thanks for letting me know. How the fuck do you read Japanese? Japanese is divided in 3 alphabets, quote-unquote alphabets, because I don't think calling them alphabets is correct. But they are basically 3 scripts. They are basically hiragana, katakana, and kanji, right? So, basically, hiragana and katakana allow you to pronounce every single sound that Japanese has, right? So, once you learn hiragana and katakana, once you learn how to pronounce them, which in case in my case, since Spanish is my native language, it's not hard to do, but it might be hard for someone whose first language is English. But you can just pronounce everything in Japanese once you learn hiragana and katakana. Kanji is the problem. As Osoma says here, they are word symbols, they are actual concepts, abstract concepts. The problem with kanji is that they were not designed for Japanese. Kanji are actually Chinese symbols, are actually the same symbols that the Chinese use in their language, but they were imported by the Japanese because they didn't have a writing system, so they needed something to, communicate by writing, right? The problem is they already had a spoken language. Japanese already existed before they imported the kanji. So what's the problem with this? The problem with this is that you are misusing the kanjis the way they were intended to be used. Hansis, which are Chinese characters, have, as far as I know, only one reading, and they only mean one thing every time. Obviously, they are combined to form more complex concepts. But if you see a Hanzi in Chinese, it's always gonna be pronounced the same way, as far as I know. In Japanese, that's not the way it works. Every kanji is pronounced however the fuck it wants to be pronounced. Sometimes, there is a relation between the pronunciation, but some other times it's just free rule. Also, thanks for the follow, Osoma LP, really appreciate it. I heard learning Korean is super simple in the writing aspect. I also heard that Korean is a really good language. I haven't gotten myself into it because I sadly don't really care about Korean, in the sense that there is nothing for me in Korean that I care about, so I don't really have motivation to learn it. But, yeah, that's pretty much the way I heard it is. Wonder what stoners... Well, see, the thing about languages is that it's pretty hard to talk about languages when it comes to the creation of them, because languages were not made with globalization in mind. So they obviously weren't made with the fact that the whole world might speak one of those languages. They were made for the local people. So, for example, that's why Japanese is so trash, because they were meant for the Japanese to use it. They are not meant for anyone else. Now, with the globalization and the whole media they export overseas, it seems that, it's increasingly harder to consume, that media, because if it's not translated, you have to deal with Japanese. And as I said before, dealing with Japanese as a non-native is bad. Really bad. There are, by the way, tons of kanji, way more than 4,000. Yeah, as far as I know, they are exactly, well, not exactly literally, but they are about 20,000 kanjis. The difference is that between those 20,000, in Japanese, there are only 2,000 that are used. All of the others are either obsolete or using names. So, I don't think... See, here's the thing. I don't really mind kanjis as a concept. I feel that kanjis as a concept is a good thing, right? That a character expresses an idea. And in fact, a lot of times when I read a kanji that I know what kanji it is, I immediately know what they are talking about, which will be different if they only wrote it in kana. The problem is, as I said before, the rules for pronouncing kanji are all over the place. Like, there is not a consistent rule for kanjis. sometimes, you know, there is this rule that I heard some time ago, that when kanjis are followed by hiragana, they are supposed to be pronounced with the kunyomi, which is the native read, right? The native way of reading it. And when they are put next to another kanji, they are supposed to be read in onyomi, which is the Chinese reading. What's the problem? That rule is absolute bullshit. It doesn't happen. It's a 50-50. When you see two kanjis together, there is a chance that they are either gonna be pronounced with the Japanese pronunciation or with the Chinese one. So that's the problem. You have these symbols that are really useful to identify a concept, and yet you can't make them work properly. That's what's fucked up about kanji and Japanese. And let me tell you something even worse. A lot of words in Japanese, like for example, wine, apartment, glass, truck, all these words, they are in English. If you want to say glass, you say garasu. You don't have a kanji or a combination of kanjis to represent glass. You will think that with 2000 kanjis they will find a way to represent glass with those characters. Well, it turns out that they don't, and instead they just give up and use the English pronunciation. What? So this is like, these are the multiple reasons why I say that Japanese is a trash language. Not because I'm a bigot or because I just can't learn it and I'm salty because I can't learn it. It's because of things that shouldn't be there in the first place, especially when you use such a complicated writing system as the kanji. Why do you have things like those? Why do you complicate it even more when it could be way easier? So yeah, that's the problem. Well, that's one of the problems. I have more problems, but you know. I'm really glad about the alphabet. There are variations, like Sherman has 4 letters more than English, but it's also mostly the same. Yeah, well, those are what are called the Romance languages, because they were, you know, they spawned during that era, I think. So languages like Spanish, English, Italian, French, German, you know, well, many others have the same root, so they are almost the same with a lot of variations. But I mean, Spanish and Portuguese are almost the same language, but there are some words. I mean, okay, when I say almost the same, I don't literally mean 90% the same. No. There are major differences, and it's obviously 2 different languages. But a lot of the words are almost the same, a lot of the expressions are almost the same, and as I always say on stream, if there is someone speaking Spanish and there is someone speaking Portuguese, most of the time they can understand each other if they speak very slowly, even if they don't have any knowledge about each other's languages, right? So yeah, basically all the Roman or whatever they are called languages, it's pretty easy to learn, you know, from one to the other, which is the reason why English was not probably that big of a deal to me. But even then, I feel that, see, here's the thing, English might have been easy to me because my native language is Spanish, so they share a lot of things, right? But even then, I feel that if you come from a language that doesn't have Roman roots, I'm pretty sure that if you try to learn English, you will still have an easy time. Because there is a lot of things present in other languages that are not present in English. So even if you can't speak it, I'm pretty sure you will be able to understand it. Like, you will be able to read English and understand what's being said, even if you can't reproduce it with your own mouth or with your hand, right? So, yeah, that's pretty much what I mean. It's mostly, you know, the fact that English, it's pretty easy, regardless of what's your native language. But yeah, you know, speaking about all the kanjis and all the bullshit that Japanese has, it almost made me want to learn Chinese. As I said, apparently Chinese doesn't have multiple pronunciations per kanji. It seems that it's only one pronunciation and one meaning. So even if the Chinese use way more characters than Japanese, at least I feel that learning feels... I haven't tried it yet, so I'm probably really wrong about this. But maybe learning feels more rewarding. Because when you read something in Chinese that is made out of characters that you already learned, you will be able to pronounce it and most likely guess the meaning, which is something that you cannot do with Japanese. That's something that it's just not doable. Well, sometimes you can. Sometimes you can if you know the kanjis that are made to use a word. Sometimes you might guess both the meaning and the reading. Sadly, I must say that those are exceptions. When you can actually properly guess the reading and pronunciation of a word in Japanese, you most likely got lucky. So yeah, honestly, a language like that is just too much to me, where everything is pronounced differently just because. One of the bigger problems for pronouncing German as English native is the thinking of spelling the letters the same way as in English. For example, E is spelled like E in German and E is spelled like A. Well, yeah, that happens with every language. Then again, English is... this is something that I always criticize about English. English is a very... It's a... You know... It's a good language up until you reach the pronunciation. The pronunciation is absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious in English. If it wasn't for the pronunciation, English will be probably the ultimate language. It will be perfect, probably, if it wasn't for the pronunciation. But sadly, the pronunciation, I feel that holds English back a lot. So I wouldn't really say English will have problems with any language. Like, English natives are probably gonna have problems with any language when it comes to pronunciation, just because the pronunciation in English almost has no rules. Almost. And even when there are rules, there are way more exceptions, right? So I will say that's the case. Yeah. Well, Yami has a perfect example there. The she in Spanish is pronounced the same way as the H is pronounced in English. And the she in English is pronounced the same way that the SH will be pronounced in Spanish. Oh, the music died. Fuck, dude. Okay, let me reset the game real quick. That's randomly the music dies on the game. If you didn't know that, yeah, it's a thing that somehow keeps happening. But it's okay, don't worry about it. It gets solved by resetting, so it's not that big of a deal. There are lots of rules. Yeah, there are lots of rules that they use as toilet paper in most situations. I know that you are a translator and you are biased towards English because you've been professionally studying English. But as I always say, you can't deny that English pronunciation is absolute garbage. I mean, it's fine. You can like it. I'm not saying that you can't like English pronunciation. I'm just saying that it's trash. You know, I also like a lot of things that other people consider trash. But you know, I consider English pronunciation to be trash. That's it. I before E, except if it's pronounced as in neighbor and wait. Neighbor and wait. Toho, for example, yeah. I mean, I know that you're saying that to piss me off, but no, you're right. Toho, for example. The average viewer will think that Toho is trash, but you know, I definitely like it. So you know, yeah, it's a good example. Believe it or not, it's a good example. I mean, I won't deny, Toho is a game that for a lot of people is absolute garbage. Not just a couple, no, for a lot of people Toho is fucking garbage. I accept it, I don't mind. It's fine to me, I still like it. So I feel that with English pronunciation is the same. You like English pronunciation? That's great. That's perfect. I still think that it's trash, which doesn't mean that you have to stop enjoying it. It just means that I think it's trash. So yeah. But it's okay. I always say the same thing when I talk about English. It's just something that I can't avoid. It's sadly something, especially when I come from a language like Spanish where the pronunciation is 99% consistent. Every letter is pronounced the same regardless where it is, with really few exceptions. Most of those exceptions are foreign words, and a lot of other exceptions are pretty much rules. Like for example, the H is mute in Spanish except when C is before it. That's an exception, but it also is consistent every single time. So coming from a background like that, I just can't help but say that English pronunciation is trash. And obviously that doesn't mean that Spanish is the perfect language. No, that's definitely not even close to being the case. Spanish has a lot of issues. A lot of issues. As I always mention, gendered nouns is the biggest offender. So for example, this, my hand has a gender. It's female. Hand, you say la mano. It's female. It's a female noun. So you have to use female adjectives, female articles, and any other thing that might modify the fact that you refer to a hand. Yes, that's something that Spanish has, and that is absolute bullshit. And probably one of the biggest things that holds the language back. The other thing is really complex verb conjugations. Verbs have a lot of grammatical times that are a pain in the ass to memorize. And a lot of times there is a lot of exceptions when it comes to the verb conjugation in Spanish. So yeah, that's one of the things that makes me think that from a more objective standpoint, English might be a way worse, Spanish might be a way worse language than English. Just because of that. Well, just because of that. Like, it's just really hard to learn. It's really hard to learn. One of the only positive things about Spanish is the pronunciation. I still like it as a language, probably because I'm a native. I like it, but I will be lying if I say that it didn't have a lot of trash. A good thing with German words is that if you know how to read the letters and some letter combination, you can pronounce everything, because all German words can be spoken as writing. Yeah, that's exactly how it is in Spanish. You complain about English speaker not knowing other language because it's hard for them, and you complain about pronunciation. No, I don't think you understand. I say that because you're combining two things here. First of all, I say that English speakers have no reason to learn other language because why would they? They don't need to. English is everywhere. They don't need to learn other language. And then I say that English pronunciation is trash. They are two different concepts. They are not related. Most English-speaking people don't learn other languages because they don't have any reason to. Not because it's too hard. I mean, yes, it's because it's too hard and there is no reason. If it only was too hard and there was a reason, they probably would do it. But when those two things are true, there is just... They won't do it. And I will probably do the same thing. I will probably say fuck languages, I don't give a shit. I will probably do the same if English was my native language. You know. But yeah. I think it's pretty hard to find a perfect language though. Every language has some bullshit in it one way or the other. So for example, I guess I should try learning Korean. I mean, again, I say that I have no reason to learn Korean, but I kind of want to learn it. Just to see if what people say is true. That Korean is a good language to learn because it's easy and it's meant to be simplified. Again, I wouldn't have anything to consume in Korean. I really don't care about Korean media. But, you know, it will still be nice. Just to see, you know. I mean, I tried with Japanese and came to the conclusion that it's trash. So, I guess I could try with Korean and see what it is. Maybe I will be shocked at how good it is. Let's learn Korean just to see if it's hard. No. When I say learn here, I don't mean literally become fluent at Korean. I mean start learning. Maybe learn is not a good word to use here. Let's instead use investigate Korean, right? Just check it out, you know, a couple of Korean lessons, a couple of Korean rules, and, you know, with that, let's try and see, you know, I know that that's obviously not the right way of judging a language, because obviously languages are way more complex than that, but, you know, I mean, it's been enough for me to conclude that Japanese is trash, so it might be enough for me to conclude that Korean is good. I mean, I don't know. There are some cool manhwa, Korean manga that could be media for this purpose. Yeah, but you know. There is something that you need to know, Osoma. I don't like reading. So even if I don't mind mangas as much as I mind books, reading is not something that I really like. So usually when I consume, in this case, Japanese media, I consume it in the form of video games. I will say that I also consume it in the form of anime, but it's been a long time since I watch any. It's mostly just video games. So, you know, I could also consume it in the form of manga, but reading and me are not a good combination. A friend of mine started studying Korean because she's into that culture, and she ended up dropping it because it was damn hard for her. Well, I think we should start by saying that learning a new language is hard no matter what language it is. But there are some different levels of hard, right? I mean, I think it's mostly about the how should I say, like the motivation to keep on going. There are a lot of languages that when you start learning them slowly, like your mind starts slowly opening up, and then it's like a domino effect. You learn more and more until you are expanding your knowledge really well. I would say that a hard language is the one that doesn't provide that since the beginning. Japanese is one of those. Japanese is not something that is... I'm pretty sure it's not something that is satisfying to do until you're like 1 year into it. You might say that you can say that about any language, but I think I disagree. There are some languages that I think after the first month you are able to start reading more and more stuff. So that gives you the motivation to keep on going. So I don't know what kind of language Korean is in that sense. If you need to be studying like for 2 years just to be able to read basic shit, or if in the first couple of months you can start reading some really basic stuff. I just can tell you that with Japanese that's not the case. That's absolutely not the case with Japanese. Like, I'm pretty sure that if you want to feel some satisfaction and see your progress, you have to at least be 1 year of non-stop studying. You say you wanted to drop Japanese, you told me you were studying in order to go there. I need you to learn so I can make you go with me and translate what they say. Well, yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, there's only so much I can do without getting tired. Japanese is just, I mean, I'm pretty sure that eventually through a lot of exposure I will be able to understand basic stuff, but I can just tell you right now that Japanese is just not a good language to learn. Definitely not a good language to learn. Which doesn't mean that you can't learn it. You definitely can, and more importantly, you can and you can like it too. I'm just saying that if you were to pick a language not based on anything in particular, just like a random ass language that you want to learn just for shits and giggles, which yes, I know that that's not a thing, but let's pretend that that will be a thing, Japanese will not be one of them. Trying to learn that language for shit and giggles is like trying to learn rocket science for shit and giggles. You don't do that. Nobody does that. Who will translate the oceans otherwise? I mean, you know, believe it or not, there is a lot of people that have nothing else, that have no other responsibility going on, and they have a lot of time to do that. I'm pretty sure that if I wasn't working, maybe I will use that time to learn. Maybe. But the truth is that, you know, it is what it is. It's pretty hard to learn a language when you already have something else occupying your time. Much more when that language is Japanese. So yeah. Don't worry, there are enough people that have a lot of free time to learn Japanese. Those will be more than happy to translate the oceans. So don't worry about it. Well, I mean, I mentioned my shop, but there is also my stream. Streaming is something that I enjoy doing, and I wouldn't stop doing it just for Japanese. I mean, I will stop doing it maybe for something else, but not for Japanese. It's just not worth it. I'd rather choose a stream rather than waste that time learning Japanese. So yeah. It's all about how much you value your time and how valuable you think that Japanese is for your time. If you think that Japanese is worth your time, then, you know, that's a really good start. That means that you have pretty good chances of being able to properly learn Japanese. I personally think that Japanese is just not really worth my time, or at least learning it in a formal way is not worth my time. Maybe through enough exposure by, you know, watching media or reading media, right? I will eventually be able to understand it. But that wouldn't count as like properly learning the language, in the sense that, sorry, not formally learning the language, right? That will just count as consuming media. That just happens to be in Japanese. But yeah, my advice for you is that if you want to learn a language, especially if the only thing you want to do is learn a language to flex, don't pick Japanese. Exposure made me learn Portuguese even though I didn't want to. Yeah, but as I mentioned earlier, the difference is that Portuguese is incredibly similar to Spanish. So I don't think that's a good example. It's kind of like correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of like Russian and Ukrainian. Well, I don't think Riemann is here. Riemann will be able to tell me if that's the case or not. But I think there are some languages in Europe that also follow that. The fact that they are incredibly similar to each other, and even if you don't speak the language, you will be able to understand. I don't know if that specific example that I gave is the correct one. I think it's more along the lines of countries like Estonia. I think Estonia might be similar to Russian in a lot of ways, but I don't know. I really don't know. I know nothing about Slavic culture and all of the Slav. Wait, you say Slavic, right? I think you do, to refer to Slav countries like Russia and etc. Right? Well, I guess I will ask Riemann the next time I see him what language is similar to Russian. Though I think German has also a language that is really common with another one. Could it be that I think there is a language that is really common with German. Yeah, exactly, Dutch. I was about to say that I forgot the word for it. It's Dutch the way you say it, yeah. I forgot. But yeah, I was about to say the language from the Netherlands, because Dutch is not a pretty, you know, it's not an easy word to remember because, you know, it's not really related to I can read a bit. Nice. No one remembers that. No, I remember Dutch. What I didn't remember is how to say Dutch. Because here's the thing. In Spanish, we say the language from the Netherlands, we say Hollandes, which comes from Holanda, right? You use the same word, you just add S at the end. Dutch has nothing to do either with Netherlands or with Holland. Has nothing to do with neither of those. So it's hard for me to remember that Dutch equals Netherlands. That's the problem. But I did remember Dutch as a concept, at least. Nobody remembers Dutch because... No, I care about your language, okay? It's just that I didn't remember the word. It's kind of like, for example... let me think of an example here. Well, I guess you can say that Brazil is an example, right? A lot of people that don't know anything about South America will say that people in Brazil speak Brazilian, which is not a thing. The language is Portuguese, right? I guess it will be something like that. It's just to give an example, right? It's just that when the language doesn't match the country, it's really hard to remember unless you know about it, right? Because, Japan has Japanese, China has Chinese, England has English, Spain has Spanish, and then Netherlands has Dutch. That's the problem. It's hard to remember that word. No, it's not hard to remember the language, just the word is the problem. At least in English. Again, in Spanish, that word is easy to say because it sounds the same as the country. But yeah. I guess it's just an English thing. One of the many English things.
Game over.
I think, well, I'm not him, Cole, but I think a big part of the discrimination for people that live in Ukraine is the fact that I think a lot of people have a natural, I don't know if natural is the right word for this, but they have a default bias against Russia. Ukraine is not the same thing, but I think a lot of people relate Ukraine with Russia. In fact, I have what's the word? I have a coworker that basically is from Ukraine, and everyone calls him the Russian guy. So I think that's the thing. I think that a lot of people don't see Russia in a good light, and they immediately relate Ukraine with Russia. I think that might be the thing. I sometimes even forget I'm Dutch. Does that mean Sherman is Alemán? Is Alemán. That's how you say it. Almost. Just drop the ghost and the additional L and you got it. Oh, well, and I guess add an accent in the A. Here, let me write it. No, never mind. I can't write it because of the fucking hotkey. Okay, never mind. But yeah, Alemán. That's how you say it in Spanish. And yes, the country is called Alemania. Please don't talk about the nationality of your coworkers. Well, there is a lot of, a lot of diversity in my office. I mean, we have people, as I say, from Ukraine, we have people from Peru, we have people, I'm pretty sure, from, or at least we have, I think, from Chile. Where else do we have people from? Well, I guess a lot of other are from different parts of the country of Argentina I'm talking about. So, yeah. Well, it's pretty diverse. But then again, that's just the nature of Argentina. Argentina is a really diverse country. Just like the USA, pretty much. But I think the difference is that even if there is a lot of xenophobia in Argentina, I don't think there is the same amount of racism that you can find in the USA. Like, I feel that one of the things that people look for the most when it comes to Argentina is the way of speaking, right? If you have an Argentinian accent, or at least, you know, something that at least resembles it, a lot of people are gonna consider you Argentinian. Which is obviously a bad thing in the sense that even if your accent wasn't Argentinian, you should still be considered one. But I don't think we have that much of an issue with race here, which is the reason why when I look at the things, at the multiple racial movements in the USA, I always am flipping my shit because Jesus Christ, it's such a big deal in the USA. Here, all of us... Wow, the microphone did not appreciate my comment. Come on, microphone, I wasn't talking shit. What the fuck? But I was about to say, when it comes to skin color, a lot of us are incredibly different even if we live in the same place. And most of us are native. Because you will say, oh, well, you have different skin colors because a lot of them are immigrants. No, a lot of people that were born here have really different skin color. And we are all the same. We don't mind. I mean, sure, there might be the, you know, an inappropriate joke here and there sometimes, but the amount of racial tension that is in the USA is not present here at all. Even if you are from Uruguay, they will think you're Argentina. Yeah, that's true. Uruguay is a really, really similar country. I mean, there are historical reasons for that. It used to be the same country. But yeah. That's so weird to me. My first guess will be that Argentina is predominantly monoethnic. No, not at all. Argentina is incredibly, it has a lot of variation, a lot of variety, I'm trying to say. Like, that's because when Argentina was populated in the 19th century, immigrants came from all over Europe and a lot of other countries as well. So you have a combination of a lot of European people, but also a lot of native people. And native people here are really different from Europeans. So there is a mixture of races here that it's pretty hard to find in any other place of the world, honestly. Like, I feel like Latin America, in that sense, it's incredibly diverse. Incredibly diverse. So yeah, we are not even close to being monoethnic. We are just incredibly diverse. I mean, I can show you, it's pretty funny, there is a sports program in, you know, about soccer called football. I don't want to call it soccer, but yes, soccer it will be. There is a program about football that everyone there, like I can give you a screenshot of that program. Every single person that's talking there has a different skin tone, and all of them were born in almost the same place. Like, I mean, obviously they were born in Argentina, but I mean, even inside of Argentina, they were almost all born in the same place. So yeah, we are just as diverse as it gets. Which is the reason why we don't have problems with racism. Or at least, we don't have major problems with racism. Because, you know, it's just something that, I mean, I could tell you that the only people that could be considered really racist here are probably just people that are absolute freaks. I don't think that in the day-to-day basis you will find racism, which is something that you see in countries like the USA. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that because that seems to be a really hot topic nowadays, and I'm really glad that we don't have to give a shit about it because it's not a problem for us. So I'm really glad that that's the case. I'm really glad. Because honestly, dealing with the same bullshit that the USA is dealing with right now, I don't wish that to anyone. So yeah. I know that there is that saying, that pretty popular saying around the internet that says Argentina is white. That's a pretty popular thing that people say. The thing is, a lot of us look exactly the same like a European would look. A lot of us look exactly the same like a native African will look, and a lot of us look like nothing like that. Like we look like a combination of both. So it's just something that, yes, it will be true to some extent to say that some are white, but some of them, you have probably a really common, like a really same distribution of races here. And even then, we don't even consider races. Like, the first thing that we think when someone mentions race is the color of the skin. That's the only thing. We don't really care what, you know, someone came from or anything else. And even then, even seeing the color of the skin being different, most of us don't give a shit. Like, again, as I said, a lot of people might say inappropriate jokes here and there. Yes, that obviously exists, but we're all the same in that regard. Obviously, we do have problems when it comes to the difference between class as in the amount of income that people have. There is a lot of difference between the rich people and the poor people, but then again, that's something that is like that in any country in the world. Just that here is a lot more pronounced because, you know, rich people basically can do whatever the shit they want, but poor people can barely even eat. In a lot of other countries, poor people at least have the basic needs satisfied. Here, if you are poor, you're gonna most likely either die being young, or you're barely gonna survive living a really shitty life. And it's really sad that that's the case. And it's the reason why this is still considered a third world country after all. But you know, it is the way it is. It can be perfect. There was a Canadian couple once that I didn't believe I was Argentina because, yeah, well, that's the thing, right? A lot of people have different misconceptions about Argentina, but the truth is that Argentinians look incredibly different. There is not a typical way, like, there is not an image that you could show and you could be like, this is how the typical Argentinian looks like. It's impossible. And I'm just talking, like, when I'm talking now, I'm thinking of my own city. But if you go to different states, well, they are not called states, but let's just say that they are states. They are provinces in reality. But if you go to other provinces, to cities that are way farther from the one I live, you will see a lot more variety as well. So it's just impossible. You can't say this is how the average Argentinian looks like. It's just not possible. Probably it wouldn't be possible in many countries of the world, but in Argentina even less so. We are just incredibly diverse. Oh yeah. And I mean, most of the countries of South America migrate here. So we still receive immigrants even after all this time. So it's even more diverse than you might think. But yeah, it's cool. I think it's cool personally. I mean, at least racism not being a major problem is really, really good. Why the fuck is Boshi here? I know that that's completely unrelated with what I was saying, but it kind of, you know, I don't know. It annoys me. Why is he standing there? What are you trying to tell me? What do you want, Boshi? I already beat all your bosses. Why are you there? There is not even a prompt here. I'm pressing every key in the keyboard. Well, every key that does something and nothing happens. Whatever. Fuck you, Boshi. Oh yeah, Kolo, you were asking who Boshi was? That's Boshi. That little triangle with well, that shit that you see right there. That's Boshi. Say hello to him. I don't know why he has that shape, but apparently he has that shape. It is what it is. Also, I think, yeah, that's Boshi, right there. The one that is right there in chat.
Game over.
Are you related to Yoshi? I don't think he's related to Yoshi, no. Thankfully, because fuck Yoshi, what an annoying little shit. Yeah, sorry if there are any Yoshi fans out there, but I think that Yoshi's a little shithead. Sorry. I didn't mean to offend you, but I hate Yoshi. And motherfucker is supposed to be the equivalent of a horse, but he's nowhere near as useful. Or, you know. Well, the good thing is that in the Mario games you can use Yoshi. How can you not like Yoshi? How can you like Yoshi? I think that's a better question. What is it to like about Yoshi? He's a fucking dinosaur that eats enemies and poops them out as eggs. And in Mario Galaxy 2, his levels were bullshit. Well, I mean, I won't deny that a lot of levels were fun, but most of them were basically just annoying because the guy doesn't know how to stop. Like, he likes to run a lot, and you lose control really quickly. So, well, not to mention that I also find his design to be really dumb. Aside from the whole eating enemies and pooping out as eggs, I don't like the fact that he's a dinosaur walking in two legs with shoes. Like, it's so dumb. I mean, it's not supposed to look smart. I'm just saying that the design is dumb. So I don't like him, but it's okay. Do you think that Yoshi gets embarrassed when he poops out eggs in front of Mario? Man, that's the kind of question that an Umineko fan will ask. You know, for some reason there are a lot of Umineko fans that are obsessed with the topic of humiliation. But you know, I mean, Umineko is the kind of shit that attracts weirdos, because why not? I mean, the amount of shit that happens in that game, yeah. I can't believe this guy, you are like not saying Mega Man is trash. Yeah, but I'm not saying that Mega Man is trash, I'm saying that Yoshi is trash. I mean, Mega Man is cool, in my book. I mean, he might look a little dumb, yes, but at least he looks functional, in the sense that he's a super soldier. He uses a full suit with a gun in his arm. It might look dumb, but it makes sense. He's a super soldier. Yoshi is a Yoshi, and it looks dumb. Yoshi was always a loser. His sole purpose is to get ditched for an extra shum hate. Ouch, that hurts. Don't say that in front of Colo. It's not gonna like that. If anyone is gonna get offended here, it's gonna be him. It's okay, Colo, don't worry about it. There are some Yoshi fans out there, but you know, you can probably count them with only one hand. I mean, you know, yeah, sure, there are for sure. Don't worry about it.
You're too slow.
Game over.
I'll show you.
You are gonna do a boss rush. You're gonna do a boss rush. Aren't you tired of boss rush? Like, don't you think that maybe it might be the time to stop using boss rushes in your final bosses? Maybe. I mean, right? Don't you think that will be a good idea? Maybe. Stage 1 of I Wanna Warp the Worlds. Yeah, that's a pretty nice one. I forgive him for hating Touhou. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Motherfucker. Oh. I can't say that I also don't use that mentality, but you know. Anyways, I think this is a good point to stop the stream because I think I tried harder enough for today. And I think that it might be better to keep tryharding this boss on the next stream. So yes, feels like that might be the wisest choice. I really wonder how long this boss is gonna take me, but I feel that it might be alright. Hopefully. I mean, it looks a little bit challenging, but I personally think I can do it. In any case, since since Colo likes Touhou so much, let me give you a little bit of it. I mean, you're gonna love this. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you on the next stream with more of Luca, which was that final boss, and you know, all of the assholes that rushed to her help. So have a good one and take care.